A good Friday to one and all. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for coming back to another episode of Sometimes the Old Man is Right. As usual, I am your host, Lamont Ferguson, playing the role of the old man. The old man on time on a Friday. That's what I am today. I'm happy. Can you hear the glee in the voice? I don't know if there's any glee in the voice. But recording on a Friday, releasing on a Friday. As promised. Look! He did it for once. He came through. I hope you are well. I hope your week was good. Technically, it's been less than a week. But you know what I mean. Your work week, or the week that is since the last time I hollered at you. I hope it was well. I hope you're well. What's the good word? How you doing? I'm all right. You know, thanks for asking. I am home. It is good to be home. It has been a very nice, uneventful week for the most part. Trying to get the creative juices going, which sounds dirty, and I apologize for that. Good grief, that didn't sound right. Although I know that's a saying that people do say. But I am trying to, pump out more content. I've got some writing done, and all now it's time just to shoot some things. So it's been a good week. Walking Olivia to school, and we've had some good conversations about nothing for the most part. We didn't have another quiz. There was no quiz about what your teachers were. Just a regular get to school type of thing that goes on. So that was cool. And just getting ready now for next week. Well, not next week because it's Friday. So the week after, I will be headed out on the Caribbean Princess. So just trying to get that all together. And then picking up other dates here and there as the calendar starts to fill up. So that's pretty much my week in review. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye. Come on. I got more things than that, for crying out loud. Colorado Springs was fantastic, as was mentioned in the previous podcast on how I did it on the Saturday. And then I taped on that Saturday, so I've got a lot of clips ready to get put up once I take a look at them and edit those clips and get over the regular comic type of mindset of hating everything that you do. Because as soon as the other comic, Spiro, sent me the sets, and I know they were good sets, I was in that moment. I remember them being received as being good sets. But there's just something about that comic mind that it's just not good enough. I mean, it's a show business thing. This is what show business done to you. Show business will make you convinced that nothing you do is good enough. And then you add the brilliant seasoning of social media, where people now have access to comment on everything and anything that you do. For the performer psyche, there is nothing greater. Really, absolutely nothing better than that combination. So I even told him, once he sent me the clips, I said, now I will look at them and try to get over the idea that nothing that I do is good enough, which is the comic beat yourself up mentality. Because I will look at those clips and go, your voice sounds horrible. Why are you so fat? What are they laughing at? That's not funny. You missed that word there. What are they talking about? And then you desensitize yourself to even thinking that it's funny. One of the things that I've learned as I've gone on in the business, there was a point where I used to not be able to watch myself perform, even for critiquing a thing. Actually, here's a weird story. In the early days, like the first couple of years, I would audio tape, because I've been in the business since the earth cooled. I would audio tape, and that's how I would go to sleep. I would listen to myself from the set I did at the comedy club, and eventually it would just put me to sleep. Now, people were laughing, all you sitting there thinking, well, probably the audience is being put to sleep. No, That's not the case. It would just put me to sleep. And that's how it was. But then there was a point where the act became more of an amplified version of me, where it is this true sense of me. And now I can watch it and critique it and not be bothered by it. So we'll see. I have yet to look at the clips. I will have to throw up some of the clips. So back from Looney's, a very pleasant time, as was said. Now, I don't know where to start because I don't want to end on a somber moment. So I'm going to start with the somber moment, but it'll be a celebratory type of moment. I'll try to turn it into a positive. So, as you know, Looney's is the longest running comedy club that I perform at in the United States. Close to 30 years, if not 30 years, been going there. When I first started there was a family that owned the club. As I've mentioned this earlier, the Lee family, Lila and Larry and Lauren was the son. And they were just good people, just good, salt of the earth people. They always were known for their hospitality. The money was not great, but it didn't matter because you always would come back because they made you feel welcome and they made you feel like family. So a handful of years ago, Lila had passed on, and then Larry had passed away shortly after that. And Lauren was the only one that was left. Now, they had sold the club to Eric, who was the bartender at one point in time. So in essence, they kind of kept it in a family, if not an extended family. Well, as soon as I got back from Colorado Springs on Sunday, Monday the news came down that Lauren had passed away. And it was a weird thing because when you think you were just there at the club with, you know, all the memories and all the stuff of you can't be in that club without thinking of those three. And so it was jolting and jarring because a relatively young man at the age 40-something. I'm not really sure exactly how old Lauren was, but he was in his 40s. And he had passed away. That was the somber moment to come back from Colorado Springs with that. The positive thing is you look at it and you go, okay, that family is together again. That's the only way that you can spin it to be positive, to be able to look at it. You cherish those great moments that you had there. And the recent time was fantastic as well. So all that bottled together. There was a picture I took because, well, you guys don't know this, but I bought a camera, I don't even know, 15 years ago off of the Home Shopping Network, whatever it was, HSN or QVC. They're really good, those people that pitch those sales, because they put pictures up and I was like, oh, I got to get that. Now, I know nothing about photography, but I bought this very expensive camera that there was no reason for me to buy it. I didn't need it, but I bought it. So to justify it, I would always take pictures wherever I went. And then I got decent at taking some pictures. Let's put it this way. I got lucky at taking some really good shots here and there. And I had it on a trip one time to Colorado Springs, and I took a photo of the three of them, of Larry, Lila, and Lauren together, and then sent them the picture. And Lauren would always tell me after his parents had passed away or his mom had passed away, he always said that my mom says that's my favorite. That was her favorite picture. So that is the moment in the memory that I will carry with me for the rest of my time on this earth, of that family and the how they treated me, and the fact that they are now together in whatever the life is that's after this life. So a shout out to the Lee family, and for everyone who was friends. They touched a lot of people, all the comics that came through. Long live the Lee family, Larry, Lila, and Lauren. All right. So that is that. And now we'll move on. We'll move on to something a little bit more not as melancholy. Had a kid birthday this week. Sydney, showbiz kid. She celebrated her 32nd birthday I had to, it was weird. I know how old she is, but I have to do the math on what year we're in because I have no idea what year we're in. So Sydney celebrates her 32nd birthday. Good grief. Where does the time go? Sydney is 32 years old. That's a grown person and been grown for a while too. So shout out to her. For the people who are new to know what Sydney does and is, that is my second oldest child. She is an actress. She is a Broadway actress. She went to and graduated from NYU. She has a long laundry list of credits, more than me, way more than me. When she was 4 years old, she got a lead role in the movie Spawn. So if you ever have seen the movie Spawn or you're going to go check out the movie Spawn, that little girl that plays Cyan is now 32 years old. Then that's my daughter. And then other things, probably most notably, would be Jennifer Garner's 13 going on 30, because that movie is on all the time. So in the scene where they're dancing and talking in the bedroom, Sydney's in there too. So shout out to her. How about that? 32-year-old kid, and she's not even the oldest. Good grief, I'm old. Other things that have taken place, it looks like we're slowly but surely getting a handle on this Omicron COVID thing. I don't pay attention to the news because the news, once you start getting good things that take place, then they want to dwell on bad things. Because even the fact that there's a new variant of the Omicron that they're calling Stealth Omicron, which, by the way, will be the title of my next special, Stealth Omicron. And I'm also, here's the thing, because you got to see on social media, I put up stuff on the Facebook and stuff like that I guess LeBron James is into tequila. He's got his own brand of tequila. So does Kevin Hart. And then, The Rock also. So I posted saying that I too now will be getting into the arena of having my own tequila. And I found a name, and the name is going to be Stealth Tequila. Just like the Stealth Omicron. It's going to be a whole branding thing. So anyway, yeah, the Stealth Omicron is the new variant. But it looks like in general that we are kind of getting a hold on this, because I'm seeing more news stories that actually say, hey, are we about to get rid of the mask mandates? And so maybe slowly but surely we'll be getting back to normal. No thanks to the CDC. Oh, I've not forgotten about you, CDC. No thanks to that buffoonery that is the CDC with their mix. Now, it's not buffoonery because they don't know what they're doing. It's buffoonery because they don't know how to message. They don't know how to communicate. That is the whole gist behind my anger towards the CDC, is that they just don't know how to communicate. Now, I'm not putting any discredit on the doctors that are there at the CDC. Their buffoonery is steeped in their inability to communicate with humans. So, and I don't even know why we put a lot of trust in the government, even though it looks like we're trying to get out of this pandemic thing. I don't know why we put any trust in the government that they were going to be able to do well enough to get us out of it, because they can't stop these car warranty phone calls. Has anyone elevated that to this is kind of an urgent status? There was a point where everybody's gotten those dumb calls, and then you block them. And then you delete the calls and whatever it is, you just deny the calls and stuff like that. Well, recently they've tried a new thing, because I get, and this is no exaggeration, 8 phone calls a day, and they all say that they're people. So the identifier is that these are actual people with different numbers all over the country. And I don't know any of these people. They're not any of my contacts. So I just deny, and there's no messages. But then I started answering because I'm angry and I want to yell at people who are calling me that I don't know. And it turns out they're all recordings of the of the warranty thing. So we can't stop the warranty phone calls. And we all know it's a weird scam. And I don't know why this scam has not been elevated to, hey, this needs to be stopped. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to put it right here. COVID, economy, car warranty phone calls. That's the order of importance that I'm putting on these car warranty phone calls, that we need to stop them. How do we not stop them? I don't understand how we can't stop them. But it's annoying. And the only reason they continue is because, well, people are buying into it. This is the other thing you found out. I found out with the pandemic, but I already knew this. We're not bright. We're not a country of the brightest and best. We're the country full of very gullible, stupid people that will fall for almost anything. The reason that this is a business with these warranty phone calls is because people have subscribed to it. People have bought into it. People have given money, and enough people have given money to where whomever or whatever company is behind this says, ooh, there's more gold in them there hills. And they'll just keep mining it. I used to do a joke about where women always wondered, why is it a guy would use a horrible pickup line? And they would say, that is such a terrible pickup line. Why would a guy even say that? Why would a guy even do that? And I would tell them it's because one time it worked. And if it worked one time, it'll work again. And this is the same thing with these car warranty phone calls. They worked once or twice or a lot. And it will continue to work because we're America and we are full of gullible and stupidity. It should have been gullibility and stupidity, shouldn't it? I don't know if gullibility is a word. It is now. I just made it because, words don't matter. But that's what we're full of. We're full of the gullible and the stupid. Just can't wait to give their money to people that have a good story. Dude's homeless on the side of the road. Nobody can give money to him. Get a job, buddy. You aren't trying hard enough. But give me a good story for a service that makes no sense. Well, then I'll go ahead and give you my life's fortune. Because that's America. That's what we do. Speaking of what, this is a thing where I don't know if this is a hood thing, and I'm pretty sure it is. And this wasn't even in the notes. This is just kind of an aside. In the area that I live in, which is the hood, oftentimes I see people at intersections. They've got a poster board, and they will walk up and down the traffic as they're stopped at the stoplight, asking for donations for some terrible tragedy. It is always a child that needs to be buried and they need the money, or it is a child or a family member that has an illness like a cancer and they need money for the treatment. Now, here's the weird thing about here. First, there's two things that go through my mind. One, how horrible that we live in this ridiculously rich country that we can't have health care, that these people, that if something happens that is so horrific that they've got to resort to panhandling for money for the treatment. That's one of the thoughts. The other thing is death is a big business. The fact that I don't really know, I'm very fortunate, knock on wood, that I've not had any incident where I've had many funerals, actually, in my lifetime. My father died when I was 25. My great-grandmother died. Yeah, I said great-grandmother died when I was in my 30s. So there's not been a lot of incidents of death, fortunately, in my lifetime, that it's in my immediate family. So, but death is a big business, apparently. Apparently it's so big that these mortuaries and funeral homes are making a fortune on the idea that people, need to panhandle to get money to bury folks. So that's another sad reality of living in America. And then the third thought is always is this a scam? Is this a scam? Like you don't want to think that about people, but the fact that we have so many people that do this, that scam other people out of money, they're making it look bad for those who actually need help. And like I said, these are all the horrible realities that are here in America. And I don't know if this is a thing that's a hood thing where, if there was an area where people had more money that they don't have to resort to these things for burials and for cancer treatment, to sickness treatment and stuff, healthcare type of deal. But I know this is a regular basis in this area. I can't recall the time where you couldn't pull up to a major intersection where this is not taking place. You see it all the time. So I don't know. I'm not really sure, but that's just another point on the side of a thought. I don't know if you have that in your area, if you've seen this, if you're in an area that's not the hood. I know there's a lot of things that happen in the hood that are regular that a lot of neighborhoods do not witness. And I've noticed this by telling jokes about things that happen in the hood and just having audiences go, yeah, we don't know anything about that. I once went up and talked about in this neighborhood, I now will do it from time to time, on how all these different things come down my neighborhood. Like there is the tamale guy comes through every day, and the corn guy comes through after that, and then the shaved ice guy comes through. And I say that I live in a purely Latino neighborhood, and in my neighborhood, all you have to have is a hefty bag, a bell, and some produce, and you are a business owner in my neighborhood. And I went to Encinitas. I'm not sure if you are aware of where that is. That's a suburb of San Diego where it is pretty affluent and pretty white. The only Latino people they have are the people that are their gardeners. That's how they work it. And I told that joke, and they looked at me like I was speaking 17 different languages at once because they had no idea. So there are things that happen in the hood that don't happen anywhere else. And because I'm in the hood, to me, these are regular things. But where they actually have money and stuff, not regular. So I don't know if that idea of people having to panhandle on the intersections, leave me a note. Let me know. Email the show at the email that I never know what the email is. oldmanisright@gmail.com. Look at that. I got it right. And it's not even at the end of the show. Next up on the docket is the Whoopi Goldberg controversy. I'm not sure anyone's paying attention to this thing. So Whoopi got suspended for 2 weeks from The View. You know what's just funny? Because remember last time I was talking about the Bill Maher thing? And then I went off on my feelings about The View. And then, boom, Whoopi Goldberg, bam, gets suspended for 2 weeks from The View, which I look at as being a good start. Now, if we could just suspend the rest of that show forever, that'll be great. And again, I feel like I'm the impetus for this. I was the impetus for the CDC changing their view on the cruise ships, and now I'm the impetus for getting The View to quiet down. Although this is a weird one on this. So Whoopi Goldberg made some comments about the Holocaust. I don't know why anybody would feel the Holocaust is one of those things where you just go, oh, I'm going to pass by that topic. Why would you make any comments on what your opinion is other than it was a horrific tragedy? That's it. And then move on. But when you start spouting your opinion on the Holocaust, let me tell you how much of let me give you my opinion. Let me go ahead and get canceled. Let me give you my opinion of how horrific of a thing it is, the Holocaust. I have never seen a Holocaust movie because I can't watch it. I've never seen Schindler's List. I've never seen any movie that deals with that level of tragedy, because I psychologically cannot take it. That I'm out. I can't. It's so much of an atrocity that I can't watch a minute of anything that has to deal with that at all. That's where I sit on it. So I have no comments on it other than it hurts me to my core. I can't watch it. I'll watch slavery movies and just get angry, and those hurt too. But I watch it from a different aspect, because as a mostly black man, I will watch it from that angle of just, oh, my ancestors went through so much, and I'm so grateful to be here in this moment to be able to do stuff. And it just makes you, what it does is it makes you want to do more for the people that come after you, as far as from my personal point of view. That's how it does. But I can't watch. I just can't. And I can't even imagine that type of fear and horrific thing. So anyway, that's right, the point. So why anybody would go and make a comment about it makes no sense to me. But Whoopi went ahead and spouted off saying that it wasn't about race, and it was more about man's inhumanity towards man. And because then these comments got deemed as being insensitive and anti-Semitic, which was kind of weird. So she's been suspended for 2 weeks. And of course, all the conservatives then jump in with their, remember, I told you, conservatives are horrible at analogies. They are the worst at analogies. You can't find any people that are worse at analogies than conservatives. They're like, well, what about Roseanne? Roseanne got fired. I haven't read this. I even had to go on the Fox News website. So now that horrible search is in my search history. The Fox News thing. To me, that's the same. Me going in there is a horrible thing. It's like finding weird types of searches on your history. Is Fox News. They're busy saying, for what ABC deemed as racist that Roseanne said, and they put all the buzzwords, a joke by Roseanne deemed racist by ABC. It's like, first of all, no, it wasn't a joke by Roseanne. She called a black woman a gorilla. It wasn't a joke, wasn't funny. And if you know anything about the history of this country, that's something you don't do. And Roseanne, who should know better, and she did know better, because otherwise she wouldn't have done it. So, and it wasn't deemed racist, it was racist. Fox News is great with their whole like, hey, it wasn't us. What the heck? Our side is amazing. Jackasses. Yeah, what Roseanne said was racist. What Roseanne is a fireable offense because it's a racist thing. And that's the point on that. What Whoopi said was dumb. I mean, I'll put that, because it's both. I don't know how you could say that it wasn't about race, because it was very much about race. Granted, Hitler went after other people, blacks and gay folks and stuff like that, but it was kind of mostly, he went after the Jewish people. They killed 6 million Jewish people. If you can't say that they killed 6 million Jewish people and go, that wasn't about race, that's a lot of not about race that they killed one particular race. So, like I said, it was a dumb statement to make that it wasn't about race. You could say it was about race, but you could say it was also about man's humanity towards man, because that is true as well. But to say that it wasn't about race was just a dumb statement. So Whoopi been suspended. And like I said, the conservatives jump on. They give the Roseanne example, horrible example. You're shitty at analogies. I don't know how many times I could say this. Republicans and conservatives, you're shitty at analogies. You should open up a dictionary and find out what an analogy is, because I don't think you do. I don't think you know. They also gave the example of Gina Carano. Now, I had to look this one up because I didn't even know. Gina Carano's not on my radar. I know who she is, but I don't pay attention to when she makes news. So apparently she got fired because she's in The Mandalorian, a show I have not watched. But because she made a tweet or an Instagram post saying that the Jewish people were beaten in the streets by their neighbors and children before the Nazi soldiers came in and started taking them out to camps. And she said that first they made them victims in their own neighborhood or demonize them in their own neighborhood before they could come in and start taking them away. So that's what people were turning them in and stuff like that, which is a weird thing. Again, why are we commenting on it? I have no idea. In essence, she was kind of saying that the same thing that Whoopi was saying. She didn't say the race thing, but she was categorizing it as man's inhumanity towards man. That's, again, what she was kind of saying, but she didn't put the race thing in there. But it was a weird statement. It's a weird thing to have come spilling out of your head. And she got fired. And so then they're jumping on that, saying, hey, she got fired for this post and stuff like that. I don't know if she should have been fired. I think maybe in hindsight, what she said, from what I read that she said, maybe she probably could have also been suspended, just like Whoopi. Maybe the difference is that Whoopi immediately came out and apologized. And I don't know if Gina Carano apologized. Roseanne went with the I didn't know that was an insult thing, which is just dumb. I don't consider Roseanne to be the smartest person that's ever walked on the earth, but she also one time talked about, didn't she say that she was on drugs and she took a drug, an Ambien, and that made her racist? It's like she's one of them people. She's one of those, hey, it's not me, it's something else type of deal. So the thing is that Whoopi stood up and actually apologized and took her punishment. I don't know if Gina Carano apologized. It seemed more like Gina Carano, or at least her defenders, were saying that, it's more about her being a Trump supporter than anything else. And maybe you're right on that. I don't know. So when you say, it's because of a Trump, I was like, well, maybe it is. I don't really have much sympathy for the Trump people. I know a lot of people that were Republicans, and I get that. But the people that are staunch, solid, get in a truck and drive people off the road, Trump people, I got no understanding for you. I just don't. I don't get you at all. So that was the Whoopi controversy, my thoughts on that. The other thing that took place, I kind of just crowbarred this in, was, anyone see the news story about Michelle Obama? Or it's not about Obama. It's about that there was one Texas parent. Now, here's another problem with the media and the news, because we took one story. It's one person. This is what like I said, the problem with the news is the news needs content no matter what. It's the insatiable content beast that you can never fill. So they found the one news story and then they ran with it like it's rampant. Now, I don't know whether it's rampant because it's the one story. The parent that wants the Michelle Obama biography taken out because, according to them, it makes white girls feel bad. It makes her daughter feel bad about herself, which is laughable. But again, I'm not getting that fired up about it because it was one, and there's going to be one. It's the idea that crazy idea that maybe we could end race. We're never going to end racism. I've gone over this before. We are never going to end racism. It is too late. Racism may end. It's never going to end, but it may get better in another 100 years when there's more, the line isn't clear as to what race is, because there'll be children that grow up and it's a black, an interracial family, and there's so many interracial families that by that point in time, you can't be hating anyone, because then it becomes you're hating yourself. It's that type of idea. So maybe that's when racism will kind of get to a point where it's a rarity. But right now, no, it's not, and nor do I see it getting that way at any point in time soon. But the idea that Michelle Obama's biography or autobiography makes your child feel bad about themselves says more about your shitty parenting than it does anything else. Everything should make you feel bad about yourself. The world is not a great place. I don't know where this safe space is. It's so funny because that's the idea. Those are the same people that would go, oh, this safe space thing is so stupid, but I want that book out because my daughter doesn't feel good about her. Then don't read the book. Is that too hard to do? Don't read the book. I'm pretty sure it's not required reading anywhere. But the idea that you want to ban the book or get rid of the book makes no sense. Do you also want to get rid of Hustler and those other things? Any of the other Playboy? Is that still a thing? And all those other magazines? Does that make your daughter feel bad about herself too? Like, what are we doing? But it's one parent that ran in front of a camera, and a news person decided there's a good story. We'll go with that angle. As opposed to just looking at them and going, you're an idiot. We're going to move on to an actual news story. But this is what news needs. News needs this type of sexiness, this type of eye-catching. It's the clickbait type of idea that we need on this thing. And now that becomes a story. Like I said, I kind of discredit it because it's one person. Bring more people to the table, and then I will listen. But until then, you're just a shitty parent. And a shitty human being is what you are. Really. That child should be taken away from you. Oh, people don't want me in charge. You don't want me in charge. The fragility of white folks is amazing. Knows no limit. No boundary. And I love it. Every time I see a white person complaining about how uncomfortable they feel, it makes me giggle like a schoolgirl. All right, now we're going to go to some silliness. It's how we'll get out of this thing. Maybe not as much. Remember last time I talked about, it's funny, I do a lot of, remember last time? I got to stop doing that. Last episode, I talked about how rich I wanted to be. I wanted to be Batman rich. Well, Jeff Bezos may be Batman rich. There's a story that Jeff Bezos has a yacht that's being built. I may have to look this up because I want to make sure that I get all the particulars right. I had it. This is me typing. So look at this. You actually see me or hear me doing some research. Where is this? So in Rotterdam. So in Rotterdam, Jeff Bezos is having a yacht built. And for him, after they're finished with this yacht, for him to get the yacht out to sea, to get to him, they are going to have to dismantle a bridge that is almost 100 years old. But they figure they're going to do it to help this dude get his yacht, which kind of sounds Batman rich to me. You've got to dismantle a bridge in a city to get your yacht out. It's a $500 million yacht this dude is having built. And they're having to dismantle it in this city, the bridge, because it wouldn't clear the bridge. And it's the only way to get this thing out to sea So they're going to bill him the charge or the cost for dismantling the bridge. That's a lot of money. First of all, you've spent $500 million on a boat. Okay? Let's start there. You spent $500 million on a boat. And then you're going to spend, I don't know what, to get a city to take apart a bridge so they can get your boat out to you. That's some serious It's also serious assholery. I'm making up more words, but that really is. That's a dude with a lot of money that's a dick. Let's be truthful. You're going to disrupt other people's lives because that bridge will then be down. And I'm sure the bridge is there as a thoroughfare for traffic. So now people can't come through. And they'll always remember. They'll always go, oh, yeah, the bridge is down. Why? Jeff Bezos needs his yacht. That's the part where Batman doesn't do that. The only people that would deem Bruce Wayne probably as a dick would be the villains. Because I'm pretty sure that Bruce Wayne doesn't do stuff like that. Even if he did have a yacht, he'd just build it on the other side of the bridge. That would be one of the things. He'd have it built on the other side of the bridge. But Jeff Bezos, who, when you've seen pictures of Jeff Bezos, he does look a little villainy. He looks a lot like Lex Luthor. I once put up pictures of him and Elon Musk because they were, when they initially had their big space race battle of who's going to be able to get to space first. And Jeff Bezos looked very Lex Luthor-y. He does. And this will not help. This will not help at all that a city is taking down a bridge so you can get your yacht. So it's a very villain move by Jeff Bezos. TikTok has a slogan. TikTok has started running ads on TV. I started watching a little more television. Got to watch my shows, catch up on my shows. So I'm watching the television stuff that is taking place. That's a weird way to put it. So I'm watching my television shows. And then TikTok has a commercial with the guy, and they put the hands out. Allen Iverson's in the commercial and stuff, and I don't know what they're talking about because, I'm not on the TikTok. I am on the TikTok, but I'm not on the TikTok, and I don't really understand it because, like I've said before, it is comedy in the 80s where it's 30 people doing the same 4 bits. That's all really TikTok looks to me. But their slogan is, you have to see it. And I'm going to say, no, you don't. You don't. You don't have to see it. You can get through life very well without seeing anything that's on TikTok. It is another time-sucking, time-consuming thing that is a thing. I don't even know what that was I just said. It just sucks up your time is what TikTok does. Like all social media, sucks up your time. Makes you less productive. So I like the slogan is that you have to see. You don't have to see it. You don't. Not a fan of TikTok. I'm not a fan of a lot of the social media. You know what I'm really not a fan of? Reels. I don't get what they are, but all I know is that it's people lip syncing to other things. And I can't stand it. I don't like it at all. And that's just me. But I don't. I can't stand it. It's nothing that I go, oh, that was clever. No, it's not. You didn't write those words. You're lip syncing to other people saying the words. And then you put some facial expressions on it. You want to impress me? Then become a goddamn actor. Do that. You're just sitting there. Hey, look, I got to do this. Stop with the reels. And I know they're popular. People like them. I don't. That's all I got to say about that. I am enjoying my shows. You know what I started getting back into? Because I've been in it for a while. HGTV. I love HGTV. I got nothing in there that I'm able to do. I can't be working on my house. I'm not buying a house. I'd like to buy a house. I'd like to get out of this ridiculous hood neighborhood. So that hopefully that'll be something that takes place very soon. But I've always loved the HGTV. And I think it goes back to when I was a child. My parents would always go to model homes. And I've loved model homes since then. I can't remember a time when I didn't. Maybe 7. That was my first time of being a kid, and we got to go take a look at model homes. Yeah, because we moved into a brand new home. I was 6. Yeah, I was 6, moved into a brand new home in Pomona, and yet for some reason we still kept going to look at model homes, and I have loved that ever since. I love going to model homes. It's one of my favorite things. There are times during a day I've been on the road, and that's been my activity, is just going and taking a look at model homes. Love it. So I love HGTV. I'm enjoying the flip or flop. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about that, Tarek and Christina. There was a point right after the divorce, this is how much I'm into it, where it was uncomfortable to watch them together. Now I see them because we're well after the divorce, and Tarek is either getting married or married, and Christina's already been married and divorced and then about to be engaged to be married again. Good chemistry between them. Good chemistry between them now. It looks good. They look at peace with each other and at peace within their lives. And I've enjoyed it. I enjoy the flip or flop. It was on all day yesterday, and I couldn't stop watching because I enjoy it. Although I'll make this weird prediction. I think they're going to end up back together. That's how much drama that I need to see in other people's lives. That's very gossipy and very ridiculous type of 1950s housewife type of thing. I think that's what I've become. I become, when I go out on the road, I'm working, and then when I come back home, I'm a housewife from the 1950s. I sit there and I watch HGTV all day and eat bonbons. That's what I do. And then I complain to Ricky that I want to be in the show. The other show I love is Love It or List It. I like that. Hillary and David, they're an odd couple, but I like them. I enjoy it. But here's every episode of Love It or List It. The couple tells David what they want in a house, and then they comes to Hillary and they go, what do you want to stay in this house? And they list off everything. We want a 3rd bedroom. We want a fully renovated kitchen. We'd like the whole open concept in the living room to the kitchen. I'd like you to refurbish the master ensuite. I'd like to add on a playground in the background for the children. I'd like you to fully finish the basement. And then Hillary says, and what's my budget? And the couple, without blinking, will always look and say something like $1,300. It's the funniest thing to me that people don't understand how much service or materials actually cost. Because every episode, it is a ridiculously long laundry list of things they want done, and the most minimal amount of money that they want to spend on it. I don't even understand it, but I giggle again like a schoolgirl. Speaking of giggling like a schoolgirl, a shout out to Seth Meyers for having David Letterman on for the 40th anniversary of The Late Show. Or not Late Show, Late Night. The Late Night Show on NBC. I love Dave. I've loved Dave for so many years. I model my hosting after Dave. And I go back to the morning show with David Letterman, which was back in the late 70s that he had a morning show for a couple of months, and I was hooked. So I am a huge David Letterman fan, and anytime I get to see Dave back on TV, I love it. So shout out to Seth Meyers and Late Night for having Dave on to commemorate the 40th anniversary of Late Night with David Letterman. All right, folks. I think that was it. There was a lot of rambling. There was a lot of... I apologize for some of the rambling. Maybe you won't even hear some of the rambling because I may edit some of the rambling out. And then you'll hear this part and go, what was that all about? I didn't hear any rambling. That's because I edited it out. That's what I did. Now I may have to edit this part out about talking about the rambling because there is no rambling. The work never ends. It never ends. I thank you for tuning in as always. I hope this was a little more entertaining, a little lighter, not as fired up and cranky. Although I know we do enjoy that because I enjoy it. I enjoy being fired up and cranky. But I hope it was enjoyable for you. All things Lamont Ferguson can be found at lamontferguson.com. I've got to update the site because I picked up a couple of more things, a couple of more dates for the site for the touring or work. It's not really touring. I haven't really been on a tour yet, but I may. That may happen. But I picked up a couple of more Holland cruises. You know how much I love Holland America. I picked up one that's in May that I'm looking forward to. I'm cruising to Canada. I didn't know that was a possibility. But I will be cruising into Canada in May. So that'll be very interesting. Because, you know, I love the Canada. And I'm all about the Canada. And I'll be cruising into Canada. So that's going to be interesting. Nova Scotia, a couple places in Nova Scotia I'm going into. Also, Maine. I've never been to Maine. Maine is mythical as far as I'm concerned. The idea that we have of Maine is that it's enchanting. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's in May. So I'll update the calendar and let you know where I'm going to be on that. Like I said, that is lamontferguson.com. If you want to see some of the references that I may make in the podcast, check out social media. Go ahead and follow me on that. IG, Instagram, which is at TV Funny Man. I'm also on Twitter at TV Funny Man. And then on Facebook, it's just Lamont. Just Google Lamont or Facebook search Lamont Ferguson. And keep in mind, remember, there are two Lamont Fergusons, not the other one. That other one, not funny. You'll see. You'll see. I hope you have a great week. I will be back next Friday again. 2 weeks in a row on the Friday. Although you'll have to believe it when you see it. It's more of that case, is what it is. I appreciate you. I truly do. I talked about a lot of craziness this week. As usual, it's always some craziness. I'm trying to think of any of the things that I may be wrong on. I don't think that I was, but again, it's my opinion. It's one man's opinion. One old man's opinion. And I may be wrong on some of it. You may disagree. You may disagree about the idea that Jeff Bezos is villain-like, although I don't think you would. Or you maybe disagree about my opinion of the Trump supporters. Highly likely that you could disagree on that. All I know is that sometimes the old man is right. I'll see you next week.